Say you only got a little bit of money, like here's a couple grand, right? And you want to know how to fix fixer-uppers on a budget. So let's talk about that right here, right now. And let me show you the famous saying, a little putty, a little paint will make what a carpenter ain't. Let's start. Here we go. So I'm going to show you the basics that you could do inexpensively to fix up a house and raise the value. I'm going to talk about some of the deals I've done where I've done that when I first started out, didn't have a lot of cash, and exactly what I did. And 3, I'm going to show you how you can save money in different areas on the house, but also increase the value. So here we go. Let's dive right in. Number 1, fixing a house on a budget. I talked about a painting and putty, right? So you could fix up little holes in the walls. You can get that little spray stuff of texture and touch up the paint. If you can match the color with like a Kelly Moore store or Home Depot store, you get some chips and you bring it in and you can match the color. But typically, if you could just paint the property inside and out and not spend a lot of money, that can do a lot for the property. Now, you may be painting over some things that are rotted or damaged or whatever. It doesn't matter, just paint it, okay? Paint it a modern color, make it look good. One of my favorite colors is Malibu beige on the body with Riviera green on the outside, okay? Another one is like a darker blue with white trim. That always looks good as well, all right? The inside, I typically do either San Francisco Fog, which is a nice grayish color, or I'll do a snip of tannin or wise owl. Snip of tannin or wise owl as an accent on wise owl with Swiss coffee on the trim. Okay, that's going to do a lot for it. Another thing that will increase value is countertops. Now, sometimes you get into these properties and they got these old little tiled pieces of junk. So if you can't afford to take those out, you can always get them cleaned, okay? Cleaning them or regrouting them is an inexpensive way to get your property looking better and cleaner, okay? Another way to increase property on a fixed budget, increase the value and fix it, is by using parts that are used. So in the Bay Area, we have this place called This and That, where you can find a cabinet door that matches, or you can find hardware or used toilets or used vanities and put those in to fix up the property. Another place that has them is Habitat for Humanity stores. If you have one in your area, they sometimes have parts or pieces to the house as well. Another way to increase the value of the home and increase value on a fixed budget outside is landscaping. I like using rock, decorative rock. Okay, it's not hard to put in. You don't need to put in the sprinkler system. All you need is some bender board, which they sell at the landscaping, and you can put a nice circular bender board around a tree and put in some white rock and black bark. It's cheap, it doesn't cost a lot, but it looks good and it gives you curb appeal. You can also put in some inexpensive, colorful plants, okay? Make sure you water them, all right? So that's another way to increase your value on a fixed budget without spending a lot of money. Another way to increase that is by just cleaning, okay? A lot of these homes, just when you clean them, they can look a lot better. So let's talk about bathtubs and shower surrounds. There's lots of great products that are available on Home Depot and online that are designed to remove mold and fix up a property so that you don't have any challenge with mold or discoloration. I've seen these old tiles from the 50s and 60s that have been treated and they look like brand new when they're done. If you don't know how to do it, you can often call somebody. They can steam clean them or restore them for not a lot of money. And I would recommend that you do that if you're not sure how to do it. I find a lot of contractors through Yelp, Craigslist. I use guys all the time, sometimes that I've never even met. Like they'll be in a different county or different state, and I'll call them and say, what are you going to do? Send me pre and post pictures. And I would just go ahead and and make that happen in whatever I need to do, especially on stuff on the outside, right? Okay, another way to make properties look better without spending a lot of money is cabinets. You could just paint them white and put on new handles. And a lot of apartment people do this. They just get new handles, new fixtures, and they use the same thing and they just fix it up, right? So the cabinets are all white now, and they put these new handles on. Spray the inside white and the outside white. Just paint the whole thing. Or if the cabinets are in decent shape, you can use Pledge, lemon Pledge, like you use on furniture. You can use that on the cabinetry, and a lot of times that'll bring out the color and get rid of some of the dirty look of it. And another one, sometimes water gets on the cabinets and you'll see some discoloration. You can get stain that will match that and just restain it and touch it up. All the stuff is all available at Home Depot to do that, okay? Now let's talk about flooring. We typically replace flooring, but if you can't afford to replace the flooring, look and see if there's hardwood underneath, okay? And if there's carpet with hardwood underneath and the hardwood underneath looks decent, just rip out the carpet. Rip out the carpet, rip out the pad, and just clean the floors, okay? And even though it may not look perfect and there may be some damage, it looks a lot better than a 25-year-old carpet. So consider that as a possibility as well. Let's talk about the ceiling. Some of these homes have really old lights. For a small amount of money, you could pick up some new lights and change those as well. So when I first started in real estate, you know, I was fixing up homes in Oakland. These homes were built in the 40s and the 30s, sometimes in the 50s, and some of them were old Victorians as well. And, you know, a little cleaning and shining and polishing can bring things back to life. You've seen some of these infomercials on TV where they take some old copper thing and they clean it. It looks like brand new, right? Or they'll take flooring and they make it look like brand new. So those products are out there, and use those products. Another way also to increase value is definitely, for sure, make sure that you 100% clean the windows, okay? Nothing looks worse than dirty windows, all right? So part of that curb appeal is clean windows. Another one is painting the front door a nice modern color. Maybe a black door is a great color because it hides things if your door's kind of nicked up, or painting the door white, or just changing out the front door. But mostly what you're doing is cosmetic stuff, so you're not spending a lot of money, and you're definitely putting yourself in a position to where you're on a fixed budget and you're not spending too much. So let's look at this house right here. Okay, so you can see this house has deferred maintenance, right? The paint's bad, okay? So this really just requires you that you get a scraper and you scrape off that excess paint, clean it up, take it away. It might be lead-based, so make sure you put something down to clean it up, and then prime it and repaint it, okay? Paint the trim, all right? It's got the old aluminum windows, but that could be made to look a lot better. And see this landscaping, how it's all dead, and all this ugly green stuff here? Cut all that out, tear all that out, okay? And then where you see this lawn area here, like that tree I would leave, and I would just put some nice decorative rock there, clean all this up, put some bark, and that place could look a lot better. Now look at this one over here across the street. Look how much better this looks, and all they have is some red rock and some little plants and some decorative bark with the bender board we just talked about, okay? So this is right across the street. The paint looks better. So this house looks significantly better just by, you know, there's this low maintenance, easy to do stuff. Now, if we come over here to this house on this side of the street, see how it has this big, ugly stuff in the front? Okay, cut all that out so you can see the house, okay? Look at this house, dead lawn, needs to be painted, all right? So just paint this house, okay? This house needs a roof, but if you can't afford to do the roof, don't do it. Just painting this house would make it look a lot better, right? This house here, look how nice this house looks, all right? I'm looking at the house and I could see that, you know, that there's old paint on there. They painted it over, they scraped it as best they could, but just a nice yellow with some rock around the tree, white paint, you know, it looks with some flowers, okay? It looks nice, right? It looks decent, okay? So here's another one, white on gray, all right? It looks presentable. Compare that to the first house we looked at that had that old yellow paint that was all peeling off, okay? So painting can do so much for your house and make it look really, really good. All right. Now, here's another person that did the decorative rock like I talked about, okay? Now, this obviously was done some time ago and they got the black paper sticking up, but this could be cleaned up. This is very inexpensive to do, simple, clean, easy to do, all right? So this is things you can do on a fixed budget that aren't expensive, okay? Now, let's say you're looking at this house and you look at these, you look at this lawn here, all right? If you got to tear out that lawn and put in a sprinkler system and all that, it costs a fortune. It's a ton of work. You don't want to do that, okay? So I'm in California right now, so you can see a lot of people you just have the rock now because it's maintenance free and it's cheaper to do, okay? So as you can see and hear, I've got a lot of different ideas that I randomly went through on how to fix a home on a budget. We got a lot more things to show you, and that's why I suggest you subscribe, because your curiosity and your willingness to learn is a big step in your financial success and your success in real estate. I was the same. I learned from others as well. So let me be your mentor. Please subscribe, and I'll continue to provide you free content based on my 30 years of experience in fixing up, you know, hundreds of homes and apartments and renovation and development and all that stuff. So with a little bit of money, you can, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9x your money in terms of what you invest and what you get back. The biggest things you always want to make sure you have is clean, fresh paint, clean interior, clean appliances, clean kitchen, clean bathroom, okay? As clean as you can get them. A little bit of elbow work can save you a lot of money and help you make money, especially when you're first getting started. I still today have the house cleaners come through when I am going to sell a house or I'm going to rent an apartment and clean all the windows, clean, okay? That's the key. Make sure your property's clean, it looks fresh, it looks clean, and it has nice curb appeal when you drive by, like some of the examples I gave you here. All right, be a winner, continue to be curious, continue to learn, continue to improve yourself and your knowledge. And the last thing I'll tell you is that one of my experiences in being a doctor and a chiropractor for years was I hung out with a lot of mentors who were much older than me and had been in practice for a long time when I first started out. And what I learned from these doctors is the same thing similarly in real estate, is I learned from experienced people, and sometimes that information went in my head, but I didn't use it for years because I didn't run across a situation where it was relevant. One example I'll give you was I had some property out in Pennsylvania I was fixing. It had busted old lath and plaster, which is like the cement walls in the inside of the house. And I remember this guy, he took paneling and he covered it all up and he stapled it and he painted it instead of trying to fix all that lath and plaster, right? So that was a technique to clean up a situation that I never even knew about. I had a similar situation in Vegas where a guy had a wheelchair and it was a foreclosed house and he damaged all of the sheetrock along the bottom, but it was all custom painted and I didn't want to rip out the sheetrock and have to repaint it. So I bought what's called this wainscoting or this wallboard stuff and put it up and painted it Swiss Coffee white. And so I had the custom paint with the Swiss Coffee white down about halfway up the wall, and it just looked fantastic. It made a huge difference. So I'll see you on the next video. I'll talk to you real soon. Take care.